Two-thirds of the college football season is gone after this weekend. The Aggies have just 4 regular season games left. Hope you're having a great sports night. I'm Luke Simons. We'll hear from Chris Vallejos in just a little bit. We actually begin tonight over at Kyle Field, where the Texas A&M football team was eager to get back on the field so that they could bounce back from last weekend's loss to Auburn. Heading into the Aggies game with Vanderbilt, the big question was whether or not Johnny Manziel would play. Well, the answer to that question is yes, he will. A&M received the ball first, and if there were any question about Manziel's arm, well, he answered them on the first drive. He completed all 10 of the passes he threw. Aggies drove 75 yards. Johnny Football finishes that drive with an 8-yard pass to Darrell Walker. A&M took a 7-0 lead in the first 4 minutes. Now, after the Aggies defense forces a 3-and-out, quick pass out to Laquiviante Gonzalez. He finds pay dirt. A&M up 14-0. Vanderbilt in its second drive made it to the A&M territory, but Gavin Stansberry puts an end to that with a big sack. That forced the Doors to punt. Ensuing drive, Aggies just past midfield. Manziel looking deep. His favorite target, Mike Evans, runs under it. A&M scored 21 points in the first quarter. Looked like the route was on, but skip to the second quarter. A&M up 28-3 after Vandy made a field goal. Commodores head coach James Franklin calls for the onside kick, and Vanderbilt recovers. A few plays later, Patton Robinette pump fake and then finds a wide open Jonathan Krause. Vandy cuts that lead down to 28-10. So the next Aggies drive, Johnny Manziel and company trying to regain that lead a little bit more, but he's going to be picked off by Kenny Laidler, and Vandy is going to take advantage of the short field. Jerron Seymour a little bit later going to finish the drive with a 4-yard touchdown run right here. Vanderbilt scored 17 unanswered points to end the half. The Aggie band would take the field, and A&M's comfortable lead, not so comfortable anymore. A&M up 28-17 at the break. So when the second half starts, it seemed that Vandy had all the momentum. They get the ball first, and on the first play of the half, Robinette going to throw, and that one goes right to Howard Matthews. Matthews goes 26 yards the other way. Pick six, Aggies go up 35-17, and then they never really looked back. But after the score, things got a little bit ugly for the Aggie offense. They fumble on their next 2 consecutive drives. Trey Carson going to lose the ball on this run. A&M had 5 turnovers on the day. Definitely not good right there. 4 of those were fumbles. But just when you thought those turnovers would hurt the Aggies, the defense comes up with big plays. Robinette in trouble all day, this time brought down by Steven Jenkins. The Aggie D had 7 sacks on the afternoon. Later in the third, A&M's offense finds its rhythm. Manziel looks down the middle, finds Walker for his second touchdown catch of the game. Manziel completed 25 of 35 passes, threw for 4 touchdown strikes, just 1 interception. He was pulled in the third with that 42-17 lead. Now, after an Aggie interception, Matt Jokel comes in. He throws his second touchdown pass of the season. Mike Evans with his second TD catch of the day. And the Aggies roll this afternoon. Here's a look at some of those final numbers. Aggies win 56-24. With that victory, they are now 6-2 overall, and they are officially bowl eligible for the 5th consecutive year. Johnny Manziel only played into the third quarter. He still threw for 305 yards and 4 touchdowns. Johnny Football also reached 6,000 yards passing for his career, 8,000 total, and he's only played in 21 games. A&M's defense entered today's game with 7 sacks on the season. Well, they finished with 7 sacks in this game. Vanderbilt had just 329 yards, which is a season low given up by the Aggies defense this season. Now, for more on today's big win, we go to Chris Vallejos at Kyle Field.
All of the questions surrounding Johnny Manziel coming into today's game with Vanderbilt focused on if he would play and how well he would do. He answered all of those on his first drive, completing 10 passes and ending it with an 8-yard touchdown pass. But it was never in question as far as he's concerned.
Well, in my mind, I was always going to play, so it would take a lot to keep me off the field and away from these guys. They count on me, and they expect me to be there. So if I have to come in and get treatment or whatever I have to do to try and get back, I have to do it for those guys. I mean, this offense and this team means everything to me. So to miss a game, regardless, that wasn't really an option for me.
We really didn't make a decision until warm-ups. So, people thought I was being coy. We didn't really know. We worked Jokel and Kenny Hill the whole week, and I think that showed because both of those guys were prepared to play today. I thought both of those guys operated in the offense very well. So those 2 guys were prepared to play today. They practiced up until yesterday, and then Johnny took the snaps yesterday. We go about 30 plays or so, And then during warm-ups today, he said he felt good. He was ready to go.
I felt really good. I felt good enough to go out there and help the team win. So it would have taken a lot more to keep me off the field and out of the game. So felt pretty good, 25 or 35 it looks like. So pretty consistent throughout the day and never really gave me too many problems.
And now we send it over to Chris Costa with the defensive side of the ball.
The Texas A&M defense had been the subject of a lot of scrutiny going into this week, but after equaling the total number of sacks that they'd had all season with 7, they say that the confidence they built this week will help them going forward.
We knew how little pressure we're getting on the quarterback, so today we just saw the fruit of our labor today with how much we worked during practice on the pass rush, and it was just great to see.
Gavin Stansbury led the Aggies with 2 sacks, and Howard Matthews made 14 tackles as well as a pick 6, keeping the defense energized.
Defensive touchdowns really helped give the team momentum, so it just gave the team momentum and it fired the defense up.
To me, it's about improvement. I want to continue to see improvement, and I think we're at a point in time, a juncture where that should start happening.
The Aggie defense also featured a handful of underclassmen. 23 of A&M's tackles Saturday were made by true freshmen. Snyder says he's impressed with their improvement so far.
Those guys are just going to get better and better. You know, we made a conscientious effort to get Day in the game a lot, Noel Ellis in the game a lot, Sean Washington in the game a lot, and roll with those guys, and because they're coming into their own a little bit. And I was pretty proud of them. And we got some work to do still, there's no doubt, but a far better performance than we've had.
Especially with their consistent pressure on the quarterback.
We pressured a lot more than we have pressured because we finally could. It felt like we finally got to the point where all the pieces were in place. We had practiced together, and I felt comfortable calling some pressures because everybody knew where they were supposed to be.
We need an example to show us how we should play, and right now we have an example. We can always go back to the vanity tape and show us. This is the type of deduction we expect from the defense. This is a standard that we expect from our defense.
Next up for the Aggies is UTEP on Saturday night at 8 o'clock. Luke, back to you in the studio.
Thanks so much to both Chris's. Thank you so much for getting all that recap.